Hello guys, welcome to the 26th of March lesson. It is 8 a.m. here in Spain, in Barcelona, and you know what it's time for, right? Yes, you know it. It's time for finance! One more. It's time for finance! Yeah. Yeah, I know, I'm losing it, sorry. So, and yes, according to the song, is also our last lesson, okay? The last one that we are gonna see with the new material, all right? After this, I will record one more class, okay? That would be normally the one that we had after Easter, the Tuesday after Easter, to be like a final review, okay? Where we're gonna go over some more problems to practice for this hypothetical final, okay? I'm probably going to record that class during Easter, okay? And probably I will upload it there and I'll make it available just in case some of you are with nothing else to do, okay? And you're gonna just get rid of the class, okay? Let's take advantage of the system that we are using, okay? That being a little bit asynchronic. And but yes, I mean, this is the last class that we have new material. After this, I will be waiting for your presentations. Okay, remember on the announcement that I made in class, that will be you had to send those by Monday after Easter. Okay, by Monday Easter. Well, by the way, it's a beautiful tradition here in Catalonia, in Catalonia, not in Spain, in Catalonia. The Monday after Easter, the godfather has to give a Mona de Pascua. It's like a chocolate cake kind of thing. Normally thematic, okay? Like Easter eggs. Okay? I guess you have that in the States and in many places. Okay, here it's like the Mona de Pascua is like a kind of a version of the Easter egg. Okay, it's like a cake with chocolate, and the godfather of the child had to give had to gift it to I don't know when someone you are the godfather of someone, what's the whatever it is, okay, the godson, yes, I guess the godson. Yeah, it's a beautiful tradition. Okay, so for that Monday, you will have to send the videos, okay, for the presentation, and well, we'll talk about it. Okay, I will make an announcement, okay, to remind you. Okay, and remember that you had information in the announcement that I made in class in Canvas to talk about that. All right, let's go. Let's start. So what are we going to see today? Okay, today we are gonna talk of chapter 5. Okay, chapter 5. We're gonna talk about something that we have been talking about the whole semester. We're gonna talk about futures and option contracts. Okay, future and option contracts we have been talking about all the whole semester. Even though we haven't focused on them, we have focused on, for example, forward contracts when it comes to talk about the future. But futures and options are the only two derivatives. Okay, remember those financial product with an underlying asset. Those derivatives that are standardized, the one that you can trade with in official markets with an official clearinghouse, okay, the same way that it would be with regular stocks. They are really popular, okay, they are really interesting as well. And if you keep going in finance, you will have a class dedicated to them. So that's why, even though it's just one class, okay, one lesson, I want you guys to have some notions on them, and especially for futures, okay, I want you guys to see the difference between what we have been talking about, forward contracts and future. All right, so let's start with this. Future contracts. So future contract, it sounds like a forward contract because it is really similar. Okay, the idea is the same. Okay, with a future contract, the same way that with a forward contract. When it comes to currency, it could be for any other product. Okay, I mean there are futures and options over virtually anything, any kind of commodity that you can think of, oil, gold, silver, copper, frozen concentrated orange juice, etc., etc., etc. but also over stocks, over interest rates, over indexes, like stock market indexes, I mean, over the weather, over paintings. They are virtually futures over anything, okay? But in this case, let's focus on currencies. So it's basically the same, okay? When you buy a future contract, you are buying a certain amount of currency in the future that you have to pay for today. You agree on the price for the future. So in that sense, it's the same thing that a forward contract. But what's the difference? What's the catch? Is the main difference, and from that one we're going to extract others. Okay, in the next slide there is a table with the main difference between forward and future contracts. But the main difference between futures and forward is that futures are standardized contracts. Okay, trade in official market with official rules that apply to everyone that want to trade with them. Okay, remember, a forward contract is a private contract that you sign with a bank. Normally, you're a company, you're receiving money, you need to exchange it in the future, so you're going to sign a contract with your bank. It's a private contract. Okay, so the regulation depends on what you decide with your bank. All right. With future, however, it's going to be an official product, and the rules are going to be the exact same rules for everyone that want to trade with them, and that's a huge difference. All right. From that small difference, we can extract others. Let's see a table to explain the difference. So these are the one with the table with the main differences between forwards and futures. If we have a regular final, I will tell you that would be a perfect table to take a multiple choice from. We won't have multiple choice, but just so you know, okay, it's an easy table and easy to understand. So the main difference, and from that one we are going to extract the rest, is the first one. All right, the idea that forward contracts is OTC market, over the counter, over the rules, a private market, you may, managed by banks, so a private contract with banks, while futures are traded in organized market, like London Stock Exchange, like New York Stock Exchange, like the Chicago bourse, okay, etc, etc, etc. The main agents who is trading with forwards, mostly commercial banks, while here in futures we're gonna find specialized brokers, the same way that we will find brokers for stock markets. That will be the same thing. The forward, the time period that it's gonna last, per period of time, whatever you need. Okay, if you're receiving money in 3 months, that's money in 3 months. If you're receiving money in 4 months and 15 days, that's what you're signing for. In futures, it's contract per close dates. Normally, we're gonna find future for per each trimester. So from January to March, April to June, July to September, and October to December. Yes. So every for 3 months, you're gonna find 4 kind of futures alive. Okay, in the market. The amounts that you're trading forward, basically whatever you need. Normally high. Okay, normally a bank won't give you the opportunity to do a future if it's not forward. Sorry, if it's not like an important amount. For futures, regulated amounts, normally high, but doesn't have to be that high. Okay, it depends on how much we consider high. We can find futures for $10,000, and we will see what that means. Okay, or we can find future for $100,000 normally. Right, normally that there are the 2 standardized sizes of future, dollars, euros, etc. You know what I mean? What do you need to show to your bank if you want to sign a forward contract? Maybe they will ask you for some sort of warranty to make sure that you're going to be able to answer to the forward in the future. But maybe you don't need to if you're a good client. Okay, it depends on the bank. Okay, it depends on the bank, and it depends on the bank and your relationship with the bank. And what are futures? Remember, when you buy a future, you are not buying anything today, really. But for most future, for every future actually, okay, you are gonna be asked to show a warranty, and that warranty is gonna be regulated in the market, but not warranty will be somewhere around 1% of the value of the future. So if the future is worth, for example, the one I told you before, $10,000. The warranty that you have to show is 1% of that. Okay, 1% of that is $100. If you have $100 in your bank account, you show a statement, and then you can buy that future. If the future is worth $100,000, you have to show 1% of that, $1,000, and so on. All right. Later, we'll talk a little bit more about what that means, really. The thing about outright option swap, just ignore it for a second, okay? Don't worry about it. The main purpose, the main reason why we do forward contracts. Yes, we have used it to perform arbitrage, it's true, okay, but you know that the main thing that you're going to use it for is to hedge your position, to cover your position, to make sure of the money that you're going to receive in the future. That's going to be the main idea, okay? You know how arbitrage, theoretically possible, okay, but in real life that doesn't happen too often. Future, however, even though you can also use it to hedge your position, most people, I'm talking about more than 90% of people, they use it for speculative reasons, to speculate with them. And why they are so used to speculate with? Because of the next difference, the high liquidity. It's really high. Okay, it's an official market, and you can always find someone to buy your futures from you. You are gonna always find someone to sell your futures to. Okay, it's really easy to get in, get out. People get in, get out this market. It's not within the day. They get in, get out this market within, okay, like more than 10 minutes. It's probably long term in this market. Forwards, however, the liquidity exists. Once you sign a contract with your bank, theoretically, you can sell it to someone else. And normally, no one does. Okay, normally no one does, and the liquidity is really low because then the bank will have to accept the new person that is buying. So it's complicated. The price of the forward contract is whatever you sign for. All right. I mean, this you're gonna change $1 million, and they will give you 900,000 euros in 1 year. That will be the price. Period. The futures is a price from the market. Okay, it's a price from the market, the same way that would be stocks. The price of futures is influenced by, but it has an independent life of the price of the underlying asset. Okay, it doesn't have to go in the same direction, or yes, the same direction, yes, but it probably will move in a different proportion. It has their own independent price. Okay, so those are the main differences. Okay, and as I told you, from the first one, from the idea that one is standardized and the one is not, when you can get all the differences. Okay, probably the main ones are these: the idea that it's really easy to trade with futures. It's not that easy to trade with forwards, so that's why futures are used for speculation way more than forwards. Okay, I mean the use of forwards for speculation is not relevant. Okay, it's irrelevant. For futures, it is extremely high. So let's see other interesting facts about futures in the next slide. This here is the regulation of the Philly exchange rate market, right, from Philadelphia. And here you can see the different futures that you can trade with in Philadelphia. Okay, you can see you can buy futures over Australian dollar, British pound, Canadian dollar, euro, Japanese yen, Swiss franc. Interesting facts. See how the value is 10,000. Is for the yen is a million yens, because yen is a cheaper currency. And also check out the warranty they're asking for. So $135, $200, $115. It depends on the change with the dollar, but more or less it's around this 1.5% warranty that I told you before. Everything is regulated. Okay, so the contract is 3 months from the March, June, September, December cycle. The last trading day, for example, is always regulated, and normally it's going to be the third Friday of the expiration month. That's like something that almost in every future market you're going to see. All right, and here they have all the information that you need to know if you want to buy these futures. You want to buy the futures, you're going to buy the futures with this regulation, not other. Okay, you can alter that. Settlement. That's something interesting about future markets. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Something interesting about futures is that at the end of the day, it's a huge difference between regular markets like stock markets and these future markets. Is that at the end of the day, we are going to have what we call the daily resettlement. Okay, at the end of the day, all accounts must pay what they owe. Okay, that means that if you are winning in one day, you get paid. If you're losing, you have to pay. Okay? At the end of the day, all right. At the end of the day, you're gonna get paid. You are making money. You're gonna have to pay if you are losing. Okay. For example, here, if the price goes down, the long pays the short. If the price goes up, the short pays the long. Okay. If the price goes down, meaning that the long, the one that was buying, is losing money, so had to pay to the one selling. If the price goes up, the one selling is the one losing now, has to pay to the one that is buying. All right, that's basically what it means. Remember, if you buy stocks, you don't get money until the time that you sell them. All right, so if one day stock goes up really high, you have nothing. If you don't sell, they may go down the day after, and then you're gonna lose everything. All right. With future, that doesn't happen. Every day you make money. Okay, you can make money. You're gonna get paid. You're gonna get loss, and the day after you have like a new contract with a new price with a new 1 day short-term maturity. Okay, that's the thing. And so that's gonna make it interesting. All right, that's gonna make it really interesting, and also that talk a lot about the speculative soul of this market, right? That you're gonna get the money that you are making every day. Let's see an example of this. So let's see an example that we already have talked about it. All right, I remember doing that in another life. It was, remember, you were young. It was the first class that we had together. You just arrived to Barcelona, a beautiful city in beautiful Europe, with a lot of places to go, with no pandemia, another life, right? So let me refresh your memory on that. But also later, I wanna give you like real numbers on this, okay? So you can see that I'm not kidding when I say this example. For those of you guys in business ethics, you already have seen this example, okay? So you can skip ahead. The focus was slightly different, but still, you can skip ahead on this, okay? And you can move forward like 3-4 minutes. All right. So it meant that we have $1,000. We're gonna see the difference between invest in regular stock markets and invest in future markets. So if we have $1,000 and we want to invest in the stocks, let's say Apple stocks, okay, so imagine that Apple stocks are $250 each, so we can buy 4, no surprises here. If we buy 4 stocks and we are really lucky and the price goes up in one day by 10%, imagine they release something new that people love it, something, I don't know, an eye mask to protect yourself with a beautiful design, with Bluetooth to check the steps that you make in your house. I don't know, okay, something silly like that, but people love it and they go up 10%. That would be a little bit crazy, okay, that almost never happens in the stock market, that a company goes up 10%. It would have to be a smaller company than Apple, definitely with a huge breakthrough, or they're going to be merged to another company. It's going to be something great, but crazy. That would be really literally crazy, especially for a price, a huge company like Apple. But imagine that happens for a second. If it happens, if you sell, if you don't sell, you get nothing. But if you sell, then that means that you're gonna make $100 in one day. Not bad for 1 day of trading, right? But let's go to future markets. We had the same $1,000 to invest. We are buying a stock in the future. Imagine that we are talking about a contract that you have to pay that. You have to show, not pay. You have to show that 1% warranty. And imagine that our contract is going to be worth $10,000, which is perfectly okay, as you saw before with the Philadelphia exchange rate future market. So if you have $1,000 and the warranty is 100, you can buy 10 contracts, right? 100 times 10 is 10,000. If you buy 10 contracts times $10,000 per each contract, your position now, our position now, is $100,000. That's our position, the money that we are dealing with. If the market goes up by 10%, not that crazy in the future market. You're gonna see in the real numbers that I'm gonna show you now how the raise on that example is even higher to 10%. So not that crazy. So if it goes up by 10%, then you're gonna be making 10% of profit, not over your initial investment, $1,000. Remember, that's the money that you had, but 10% over the position that you are moving, $100,000. So your profit is going to be $10,000. If you calculate the percentage, that makes a beautiful 1,000% profit in one day. Definitely not bad at all. You may say, well, that's impossible. That never happens. You can have $1,000 profit in one day. Yeah, hold your thought. Let's see real numbers. Imagine a random day for anybody, and let's say that that day is the June 29th, 2012, and we are in Chicago. We are trading with a commodity, a future on commodities. Okay, I won't tell you the commodity that it is because traders don't really care about that; they just care about the numbers. But let's say that that contract in that particular day started with a 634 points and went up to 739 points. That's how it moves by points. What do we mean 1 point? 1 point means $50. Okay, so you do the numbers, we are talking about a almost 16.5 raise. Real numbers, remember, okay? So the 10% it was even conservative for this particular product in that particular day. If you were there from beginning to end, that means that that day you will be making a profit based on your investment. That contract, the warranty that you had to show was $1,950. So that will be the money that you are putting into the market, $1,950. So we can guess that it's a big contract that is going to be worth around $100,000, and that the warranty is around 2%. So it's always like that, again, between 1 and 2%. So the profit that you're gonna receive is gonna be 104 points times $50, so 5,225 divided by the money that you are investing at the beginning. So that's a almost 268% profit. Not bad, but I know it's not the 1,000 that I promised. I know, I'm aware, all right? But still, hold on a second. Right here you can see where I found the information. All right, so you're gonna check out the numbers and make your own play on your own, okay, to find other example on this. But let's say that we're a bank now. You know, we have already talked about this when we talk especially about the 07-08 crisis. We talk about the interbank market. The interbank market is a mechanism that banks have to, at least initially in theory, to solve temporary liquidity problems. Remember, what's the idea? You're a bank to receive money. You don't have to keep the money in your vault like in the old Western movies. Okay, you can do whatever you want with that money, except for a percentage that it depends on the country. You have to keep that amount of money in your vault just in case people need it. Okay, I think in Spain it's around 10%, but it depends on the country. With the rest of the money, you can do whatever you want. It may happen that one day too many people come to your bank to ask for their money, so you don't have cash enough to give it to them. What can you do? You can use the interbank market, and normally what you're gonna do, you're gonna use an overnight loan from another bank. Okay, so you're gonna receive a loan for one day to solve this liquidity problem and give the cash that you need, and then you're gonna pay that loan with a wire transfer, so you don't have to use cash again. Okay, the day after to the other bank. It's a simple mechanism, okay, that works to solve these small liquidity problems. The problem is that, especially after 2001, 2003, there were the final two rules that differentiate between investing banks and deposit banks. Okay, the banks to invest and the banks to keep the deposit that should be conservative. Since 2003, there is no difference, so any bank can do whatever they want with their money, so they can invest in any kind of investment. That's part of the deregulation of the markets that we talked about in chapter 1. So from that time, any bank can invest, and almost every bank, I say almost, but probably is every bank is using this market to invest. Okay, they're using these loans to invest in, for example, future markets. Why? Because it's really attractive. How attractive? Let's see. imagine that that's the date I use a reference. Okay, I guess that was the first time that I used this slide in the master program that I teach. Okay, so let's take it as an example. It won't be that different today. Remember, it's a 1 day long. Okay, so the interest rate for 1 day, as you can imagine, is really low. Also between bands, so it's 0.02, 3.7%. 1 day long. So imagine that a bank is going to ask for a $19.5 million. You know that in the interbank market, the minimum transaction normally is around $10 million, so it's nothing crazy. Okay, it's a perfectly normal amount for banks. So that means that tomorrow you have to pay the interest rate on this, so you have to pay the much money. Okay, you have to pay $4,596 of interest. That's interest that you have to pay tomorrow. So imagine that we use that money, the money that we asked for, the loan, to invest in futures. Let's take the numbers on the formula slide. So we can buy 10,000 contracts. Remember, one contract was, you needed $1,850. So with 19.5 million, you can buy 10,000 contracts. If we use the numbers on the slide before, that means that your profit will be 104 points. Remember the 16% raise times $50 per point times 10,000 contracts. So that's your profit, $52 million. Not your net profit, you have to pay interest. So let's pay interest, and that is your net profit. Now, if you do the numbers, if you compare this with the amount of money that you are paying, that really is this, the interest, the other is not yours, okay, you are not paying it. Okay? So your investment really is what you pay, is your cost, is the interest. Now we have a beautiful 1 million, I don't even have to read it, 1,136,721% profit. So once again, the 1,000% profit that I promised is way conservative for what you can get in this market. And you have to trust me on this, okay? Or you don't trust me, and you can read about it. Okay, you go to Google. That was happening on almost daily basis, right? And that was provoked the 07-08 crisis when we talk about it. When we talk about it in the crisis right after the midterm. Okay, in 07-08, okay, all banks were doing this. And those mortgages that they were asking for people, the mortgages that no one was going to be able to pay, they didn't care about that, okay? They were using those mortgages, and of course, the good ones, to back up these loans in the interbank market, all right? So you give me money as an answer, okay, as a backup. I give you this package with mortgages. If I can pay, you can use the mortgages, okay? I don't care. That's what was happening until one day someone revealed that they were all have been using crap to back up each other, and that day markets went down. So one day you thought that you had to pay the 4,000 interest, and now you had to pay $52 million, and that was a disaster. That collapsed the market, that stopped the interbank market, that stopped trust, and that's how this huge crisis started to develop to the real economy, right? But that was the reason behind that. Okay. After the crisis, people started to do the same thing again once they were bailed out by governments, and you can find out of information on that on Google. So that was an example, okay, of how much money you can make. But also, I love to use this movie here, Trading Places, to show you a more comedy-like version of this. Okay. I'm gonna ask you to watch this movie, okay? To watch this clip on the movie, okay? You wanna watch the whole movie? I guess it's in some, it had to be somewhere in Amazon Prime or Netflix, okay? But I wanna just show you a clip from the end of the movie, like 10-minute clip, where you're gonna see a pretty realistic explanation of how the frozen concentrated orange juice market works in New York. All right, I'm gonna ask you to watch it, the movie. Here in this slide, in this article, you have a pretty kind of good explanation of what's happening, except for a number that they have it wrong in the article. And then in the next slide, I put some fun or interesting facts that I always like to comment on the movie and the minute when it happens. Okay, so if you want, while you're watching the clip, have the next slide with you. Okay, so you can receive those comments and you can see where that's happening. All right. Let's go and see the highlights. Here you can get the movie, but also in Canvas you have a link. Okay, you have a link on Canvas where you can access to the movie. Let's go to the fun facts. Okay, to the interesting facts. Okay, so first let me start to introduce you to the movie. This is a classic movie, classic comedy from the 80s, 1986, I think, when Eddie Murphy was this rising star in comedy, and Dan Aykroyd was the guy from Ghostbusters, but the original Ghostbusters, okay, the one that I hope your parents show you, if they are good parents, not the crappy one that was the reboot that they tried to do. So in this comedy, okay, at the beginning of the movie, Eddie Murphy is like this homeless guy, nice on the streets, conning people, whatever, and Dan Aykroyd is this respectful lawyer working for an investing company with a beautiful house, with a beautiful car, with service in their house, with the good education, with the good fiance, everything, okay, the whole package. So at the beginning of the movie, Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd have an encounter. It's a confusion. Dan Aykroyd thinks that Eddie Murphy is trying to rob him. He wasn't, but still they try to chase. They start chasing each other. At the end, the police come. So it's a lot of fuss about the situation. All of this happens in the company where Dan Aykroyd is working, the Duke's investing company. And while all of this is happening, the Dukes, the owners of the company, the Duke brothers, the evil Duke brothers, they are witnessing the whole thing, okay? And they start discussing about the situation, okay? One of them says that this is happening, and Eddie Murphy is behaving the way he's behaving, Dan Aykroyd behave the way he behaves, because of culture, okay? Because of the context where they have been raised, okay? Eddie Murphy have been raised in a poor environment, with a poor education, so that's why he's making poor judgment in the city, okay? But he for somehow, as you can see in the movie. The other Dukes say something different, something that probably is not that politically correct for 2020, but in the 80s it was okay. That he said that no, I mean, it's just the way it is. Okay, Eddie Murphy is a bad person. It will be a bad person regardless the environment, and Dan Aykroyd is a good person, and he will be a good person if he's put in a complicated context. So they decide to make a bet on that, and they decide to bet $1 that they can trade their lives. So that's why the fun word game, fun for finance, of trading places, as the name of the movie. They decide to trade their lives, okay, and they decide to put Eddie Murphy in a good environment, so give him the house, the job that Dan Aykroyd has right now, to see if he becomes a better person. They try to basically destroy the context of the life of Dan Aykroyd to see if he makes bad decisions. So they bet on that, and they do that. Okay, so they take Eddie Murphy and they bring it to the house of Dan Aykroyd, and they give him a job. Okay, at the beginning he doesn't really know what's going on, but he becomes this awesome, respectful investing advisor that everyone loves. And Dan Aykroyd at the same time, he goes to hell. Okay, he goes to the bottom that he can fall. Okay, there is this disturbing image in the movie when he's wearing like a dirty Santa Claus dress, and he's eating raw salmon in a bath with all the beer. It's really disturbing. It's a really dark moment in the movie. Okay, that's the comedies on the 80s. We had these dark moments. We have some nudity all the time in the movie. The 80s, they were awesome. Okay, but well, at some point, Eddie Murphy realized that something weird is going on, okay, and he heard the Duke brothers talking about it. Okay, he heard them talking about the bet, so he knows that once this is over, they're gonna get rid of him. But also, he realized that something sneaky is going on, and they're trying to do something weird. So he managed to find Dan Aykroyd. He talked to him, and he decided to work together because Dan Aykroyd also have a piece of information that he needed. What they realize is that they are trying to buy or to get an official report from the Department of Agriculture of the US. Okay, a report talking of how the weather affected the harvest of oranges. I think it's in California this winter, and they want to get the report before it gets public. Why? Because depending on that report, we have the frozen concentrated orange juice market in New York, in this case, in the case of the movie. Okay? If the harvest was good and the weather didn't affect it, if the harvest was good, the price will drop. So you're gonna be selling in the future, selling futures, because you bet on the market to go down. If the harvest was bad, it was affected by the bad weather, then you know that the prices are gonna go up. So you're gonna be buying. Okay, you wanna be buying. So they realized on that, and they managed to exchange the report for the Dukes. So now the Dukes have the wrong report. They have reports saying that the harvest was bad, so they should be buying frozen concentrated orange juice. Is this inside trading? Yes. Was that illegal? Hold on a second, okay, we'll talk about it, all right? But yes, that was inside trading, okay, what they were trying to do, all right? So that's where we start, okay? Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, they are heading towards New York to invest on the information that they have, okay? That the harvest was good and the prices will go down. In the minute 308, you're gonna see how there's the two brokers talking to each other, okay, about the ultra and everything. Well, it's a funny thing, and this movie is full of these small details, okay, because it's referring to the fact that back then the broker position, okay, it was the profession with the second highest risk to suffer a heart attack. You remember the Floor documentary, how some of those guys were really broken, okay? Well, here is a pretty good comedy of this, okay? If you are wondering what is the first one, that would be flight controller. Okay, I mean, I guess a work where if you click something wrong, thousands die, has to be stressful somehow. In the minute 405, you're gonna see real footage from the 80s. Okay, for a few seconds. Okay, you're gonna see like how it really looked like in the 80s. The pit, the whole New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so it's gonna be interesting to see that real footage, and also all the actors in the pit. They are not actors, okay? They are real brokers. So that's why everything looks so real-like, okay? All the yelling that they are doing, all the things that they are doing with their hands, they are real, okay? Because it's what they normally use to do in the pits, all right? In the minute 5:53, there's a really interesting example of something that we have talked about in class all the time, the so-called Pygmalion effect, or the self-fulfilling expectation theory. This idea that we all believe that something is going to happen at the end is going to happen, all right? Why? Because you see these two guys that are looking into what the Dukes are doing, and they say, well, if the Dukes are doing that, they should know something that we don't know. That what happened, for example, with George Soros in 1992. Remember what Soros did? That almost destroyed the British pound and the European rate, the European rate mechanism. The same idea. Okay, if we all believe that something gonna happen, at the end it's gonna happen. If we all believe that the price is gonna go up, and we all start buying, it's gonna end up going up. So if you see someone with probably more money than you and probably more information than you going in one direction, you probably want to follow. And that's a pretty good example of that. So the price goes up, as you can see, until Dan Aykroyd yells something, and in the minute 6:22, he says, "Sell 200 April 142." By the way, the article where it's playing what's going on in this clip, okay, it's pretty good, the article, but they got that number right, okay, they didn't hear that. Sell 200 April 142. So he says we are selling 200 contracts the one that start on the April cycle. Remember, they were like a 3 months cycle, the 3 months cycles, and you have the 4 cycles over the year. For 142, they set the price. Okay, everyone was trying to buy from each other. No one was selling, so they are the only ones selling. So everyone's gonna go like crazy to them. Okay, to buy from them. So they're gonna take it off their hands. Okay, so they sold these 200 contracts. How much money are they making at the end? So this is a rough estimate, okay? So if they are sold 200 contracts, and let's say that each contract was $10,000, just for the sake of the example. So they sold for 142. The last price in the market was 29. So that's an estimate of $226 million. Saying that the Dukes at the end, at margin call, you know, the guy that comes say, okay, margin call, you know that every day all accounts have to be settled. That's what we are talking about here in the class, okay? So it talked about $384 million, I think. Well, that's a pretty interesting estimate. Is that possible in real life? I mean, that's a pretty crazy, huge movement, okay? But remember the 16% raise that I used in the real example, okay? And actually that product, that future, it was corn, okay? During the month of June that I used as an example, here it raised its price by the 100%, okay, at the end of the month. So yes, I mean, it was a pretty big stream. That's probably too much. That's a movie, okay? That's probably too much, but still, it's an interesting clip, okay? That also fun to watch. Was that illegal? Well, back when it happens, it wasn't. Okay, based on the information on that report, it wasn't illegal. Actually, it wasn't until 2011, I think it is, that it was declared what everyone knows as the Eddie Murphy Rule. Okay, it's a new act that declared that now it is illegal to use information from official departments of the US government that hasn't been published. Okay, but back then, using that information was technically, it wasn't illegal. I mean, it was illegal, the whole thing where they steal the report and they put a guy in jail, in a cage with a monkey. Probably he's gonna die. So yeah, that probably is it's not nice, okay, probably illegal. But no, the fact that they were trading based on this information wasn't illegal at all, okay? The Eddie Murphy Rule, so that's how this movie is important. Are you worried about the Duke brothers? I mean, don't be. Okay, Eddie Murphy is gonna help them out later in another movie, in the awesome Coming to America. I know you know the movie. Okay, when he's the Prince of Zamunda, they are gonna make an appearance, and he's going to give them some money to help them out. Okay, here you have the clip when you can see that with the music, everything. It's one of those geek things that I know for some reason. All right. So I hope you enjoy the sample. I hope you enjoy the movie. Let's move forward and talk about options. And now let's talk a little bit about options. We won't get that deep into options like in futures. It's not like we got too deep, but it's true that we have forward to compare. So that's why I wanted to have a little bit more information. So I'm gonna be quicker now with options. I want you guys to know what they are, some basic ideas, some basic graphs of how they work, a few ideas, okay? Just when in the future you keep going in finance, you will have time to go over this, but at least I want you guys to know the basics. So what are they? An option is going to give you the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell something in the future. So it's really similar to a future, but now when the time comes that you can actually execute the order, you can choose either you are going to use it or not. It's a right. In here, we're going to be buying right, the right to buy or the right to sell. Actually, that difference is going to make the first set of differences that we're going to see in options. We're going to have two basic kind of options. We're going to have calls and puts. A call is going to give you the right, but not the obligation to buy something in the future. That something can be currency, that something can be oil, whatever it is. A put is going to give you the right, but not the obligation to sell something in the future for a price that you agree upon today. Once the future comes, you can choose either to buy or to sell. So with these two basic options, let's see the 4 basic operations that you can perform using options. Let's start with the calls. When you buy a call, you're gonna get the right, you're gonna buy the right, but not the obligation to buy something in the future. However, if you are the one selling a call, the seller is gonna have the obligation to sell in the case the holder, the buyer, decides to execute the order. Okay, imagine I have the right with some of you guys. I have the right to buy your car in 2 months. Once the time comes, if I decide not to buy it, then that's fine. But if I decide to buy, you have to sell it. You're obligated, okay? Because it's my right, it's my choice, either to buy or not. Okay? Put. If you are buying a put, you give the holder the right, but not the obligation to sell something in the future. Okay? You are buying the right to sell. Okay? If you are the one selling the put, then you will be obligated to buy if the buyer decides to execute the order. Okay? In this case, if I have the right to sell my car, for example, to you guys. If when the time comes, I decide to sell, and you were, I decide to sell, then the person, the seller of the right, has the obligation to buy from me. Okay, if the person that has the right decides to execute it, the seller of the right needs to do the opposite. Make sense? Okay, it can be a little confusing at the beginning. Okay, it will be easier later when we see it with the graphs. So what are other differences when it comes to options? Another difference is a naming matter. Okay, but also has some implications. Is a difference between European options and American options. All right. European options can only be exercised, so you can only use that right on the expiration day, one day. So normally it will be the 3rd Friday of the last month of trading. Okay, the one in March, in June, in September, and December. Simple. American options can be exercised anytime from the moment that you buy it till the expiration date. Does this have implication? Well, yes, this is going to affect the price of the option. Okay, to get the price of the option is a little bit more complicated than in future. Here we are talking about a formula with 4 or 5 different Greek letters. And the fact if they are European or American is going to be a factor in the formula to calculate the price. Okay, of course, American options have a higher price than European options because you have a bigger right. The fact that they are called American European doesn't mean that they are just found in America or in Europe. No, okay, it's just the name. In America, you can find European options, and in Europe, you can find American options, and all over the world, right? It's just the naming, right? Just the naming. Actually, I'm gonna show you later the same thing that I show you for futures in the Philadelphia currency market, and you will see how they trade currencies, options over currencies using European options. Okay, so you just have 1 day to execute the order. Some more information about options. What are the different situations where you can be? Okay, first, to understand this slide, you need to read it from the point of view of you buying a call. You are long in the right to buy something in the future. You are buying a call. If you are buying a call, you're gonna be in the money when the execution price is under the spot price of the asset. Okay, so say you had the right to buy for 90 and the spot price is 100, for example. Okay, then you will use it because you have the right to buy cheaper, and then you will sell it in the market, and you will make this profit of 10 per each one of the product that you are trading with, that you are buying, right? You are at the money when the execution price equals the spot price. Following the example above, when you have 100 and 100, then literally you won't, doesn't matter you use it or not, okay, the price is the same, so whatever, okay. We say that we are out of the money when there is no point to use the order, when the execution price, say now this is 100 and the spot price is 90, when the execution price is over the spot price, then there is no point to use the option, so you won't use it. One important thing, you can be in the money, that doesn't mean that you are in a profit. Okay, sometimes in finance, in movies, teachers, we refer to the expression in the money when say that you're having a profit. No, in here you mean it means that you're gonna use the option, but maybe you haven't recovered yet the price that you pay for the option. In this case, you have to pay something. Okay, you have to pay something that we're gonna call a premium. Okay, it's a price that you have to pay for it. It's different to the future. In this case, you are buying something. You are buying the right, so you have to pay something. So maybe you are gonna use the option, but you haven't recovered the money that you pay for the option. So in the money just means that you are using the options. If this was from the point of view of you buying a put, everything will be backwards. Okay, everything will be backwards. You will be in the money when we are here, when the execution price is over the spot price, because then you will have the right to sell for 100 while in the market is just 90. You will be out of the money when you are here, because then you won't use it, because you have the right to sell for 90, but in the market it costs 100, so there is no point to use it. So everything is backwards. At the money is at the money, okay? It's equal is equal, okay? So you won't use it, so that's fine. All right. Here's what I told you about Philadelphia. All right. You realize here, in all the information that we have, very similar to the future, but look at this: the exercise style European. Okay, so you can only execute them during a specific period of time. In this particular case, it will be the Saturday following the third Friday of the expiration month. Okay, so that's the day that you can execute the order. You can check out this all the information over here on the slides. Explain you the 4 basic positions that you can have on option using graphs. All right. In the original slides, when I normally teach this in class, these graphs are separated, and then I put it all together because it makes way more sense to put it together. I put it together on the blackboard. Here we don't have a blackboard, okay? So I decided to put them, all of them in just one slide. Well, it's a little bit crowded, but since you are looking at this in your computer, I think it should be fine. All right. So 4 basic positions. Remember, you can be buying a call, selling a call, buying a put, selling a put. You can buy the right to buy, you can sell the right to buy, you can buy the right to sell, you can sell the right to sell. I think I got it right, right? It's kind of complicated. So let's start with the graph. What happens when you are buying a call? You are buying the right to buy. Okay, you realize here, we start here, that's the price that we pay for the call. That's the thing that we call premium. It's the price that we're gonna call for the call. And this here is our execution price. That's our execution price. So while the spot at any given time is under the execution price, we are out of the money, meaning that we are not using the call. We want to use it. When the spot price is over the execution price, we are going to start to be in the money. But you realize that in this period of time over here, when we are in the money, but we are not making a profit because we still haven't recovered the premium that we pay. Okay, so that's going to happen once we get to the breakthrough point, the breakthrough moment. Okay, so this breaking point when we are going to get even, and then we start having money. What happens when you are selling a call? That should be like a mirror from this. Okay, I did my best to put it together here. Okay, it's not exactly perfect. Okay, but this this execution price should be exactly the same here. Okay, that should be exactly the same. Sorry, when I was formatting this, it didn't come up exactly perfect. But still, you see the point. Okay, it should be a mirror. Okay, it's the exact opposite of the one on top. So what we are saying is, while the buyer is out of the money, we are making a profit. We are making the premium. Okay, the money that we receive for selling the call. Once the buyer starts to be in the money, we are gonna start losing money. Okay, because if the buyer is buying, we're gonna be forced to sell at a cheaper price that we could get in the market, and that's why we're gonna be losing money. So my gain as a buyer is your loss as a seller. Once again, it's a zero-sum game, like it happens with when we explain forward contracts, or what happens when we do future options. It's a zero-sum game. We don't create wealth. We just change money from one hand to the other. What happens when you buy a put? Same idea. That's the price that we pay. We call it P, okay, because it's for put, okay, but it's the same idea. It's the price that you pay. It's a premium. In this case, we're going to be out of the money while the spot at any given time is over the execution price, because then it will be better to sell the stuff in the market, not using the order. When the spot price falls under the execution price, it's interesting for us to use it, because we're going to be able to sell it for a higher price that is in the market. So we will be in the money. Okay, we will be in the money like this. What happens when you sell a put? It should be the opposite. Okay, the exact opposite. A mirror. Maybe you can see this better in the slides, okay? Because in the video I'm gonna be in the middle, or maybe I can put the video on top when I edit this. In this particular case, it's the opposite. Okay, while the buyer of the put is out of the money, I'm gonna be making the premium. Okay, once the buyer of the put is interested in selling, in using it, is in the money, I'm gonna start to lose money, because I could be because if this is to sell, I'm gonna be buying, and I'm gonna be buying at a higher price that it is in the market right now. So that's not gonna be good for me. Okay, that's the basic idea. So these are the 4 basic positions. This can get complicated. And if you keep going in finance, probably you will have a class to analyze all the different things that you can do, even using these basic positions, okay, to do something more complicated. And a lot of these situations you're gonna have a specific name. I remember having a semester just to see graphs and to learn how that was called. All the using both a standardized product like this, or even OTC products that we haven't seen in class. For example, in the next slide, let me give you an example of something a little bit more complicated that we can do. For example, something that we can do, we can create something that we're going to call a synthetic future. We are going to create something like a future by using options. In this case, for example, we're going to manufacture a long position in a future. Okay, so like if we were buying a future by using options. How? Quite simple in theory, at least, to explain it. We could buy a call, okay, buy the right to buy. At the same time, we could be selling a put. Okay, you realize we get this kind of a straight line here, okay, that is going to represent like if you were buying a future. Okay, remember when we were studying forward contracts, how it looked like that. Okay, why would you do that? Because it can get even more complicated. For example, in the next slide, it's talk a little bit about something that is possible to be used, okay, that there are even futures on options or options on futures, okay, so you're gonna buy in a future the right to buy something in the another future, okay, so it's like all these complicated things, okay, that you can do, and way more, as I tell you, probably if you go in finance, you will see all sort of complicated the complicated things. But why all of that? Well, transaction costs and liquidity can be involved, of course, okay. But if I had to bet, okay, at the end of the day, and if you keep going in finance, at some point, taxes are going to become your friends, okay. Probably you're gonna do that because somehow by doing that you're gonna be able to compensate the part of the profit with the loss that you have from the being in the short position in a short position at the same time that you are in a long position, because in your country there's a different legislation, because you're gonna be moving money from different countries, and that's gonna be the very interest for you. Taxes are gonna be involved in these kind of weird operations 90% of the time. Okay, and if you keep going in finance, you will have to be familiar with taxes, because your clients are gonna ask you, okay, how we can do this so we can make more money, without considering the morality of the decisions. Okay, but that's something that's gonna happen if you are in finance. So that's a fact. All right. So it shouldn't sound like a threat, but you keep going in finance, like you're gonna have to learn a lot about taxes, not just in your country, also in all the different markets where your clients are from, or the countries that you are investing on. All right, so that's gonna be interesting. That's it. Okay, so with this we finish the material of the class. We finish the material on finance. After this, remember, I will record a final review with more problems. You guys can practice a little bit more on that. Okay, so it's not like just I'm gonna ask you to do some for the final thing that we're gonna do. So you will have the chance to practice a little bit more. And now it's a little bit on you. Okay, now it's on you, and you guys complete the final project. Remember, you have until the day after Easter to complete the final project and to record your presentation that you had to send as well by the same day. Then I will upload the instruction for that. Okay, but basically the idea is that, okay, that you guys see all the other groups presentation, and that you submit feedback on them. All right, so I will create a form, okay, where you can create the feedback, and that can be useful for all the different groups. All right, so I hope you have a good Easter, all things considering. I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys, thank you.